Section 1 of Guelphs and Ghibellines, A Short History of Medieval Italy from 1250 to 1409. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Pamela Nagami, M.D. Guelphs and Ghibellines, A Short History of Medieval Italy from 1250 to 1409 by Oscar Browning. Chapter 1. Introduction. Frederick Barbarossa, Innocent III, Frederick II. By those who divide the whole of history into three great periods, medieval history is held to begin with the year 476 A.D., the year which witnessed the fall of the Empire of the West. Whatever may have been the effect of this event upon the world at large, it was certainly a great crisis in the history of Italy. Romulus Augustulus, a Roman or a Pannonian by birth, whose name recalled, by a curious coincidence, the mythical origin and the constitutional establishment of the Roman Empire, was deposed from the imperial throne, and the Syrian Odoacer assumed the title of King of Italy. He reigned from 476 to 493. The year 489 marks the descent into the Italian plains of the Ostrogoths, the eastern division of the great Gothic nation, whose western brethren conquered Spain and part of Africa. Their first king was the mighty Theodoric, whose palace still exists at Ravenna, and whose reign, immortalized in the earliest epics of the Teutonic race, extended over the first quarter of the 6th century, from 489 to 526. For 25 years longer his successors feebly maintained the glory of the Gothic name, until in 553 they were unable to withstand the power of the Emperor Justinian. This famous lawgiver was by origin a Slav, as his name Uprata shows, so that the Ostrogoths were barbarians conquered by a barbarian. In 568 a more powerful race descended into the valley of the Po, the Lombards or Longobardi, under their king Alboin. Their dominion lasted for more than 2 centuries, until the year 774. Italy was under them divided into 36 duchies. There was a Lombardy of the south around Beneventum, as there was a Lombardy of the north around Milan. The latter district has retained its name until our own day. We find in these changes conditions which have been repeated through successive ages until our own time. A German race subjugates the rich territory of the south. The popes, the bishops of Rome, preserve their independence and become in a certain sense the assertors of Italian freedom. Too weak to stand by their own power, the popes apply for assistance to France. The arms of Pepin and of Charlemagne supported the temporal power, as it was afterwards supported by Charles of Anjou, by Charles of Valois, by Charles VIII, and Napoleon III. In 800, Charles the Great became Emperor of the West. Lombardy was held by his family from its conquest in 774, till the expulsion of Charles the Fat in 888. The anarchy which succeeded opened up Italy as a prey to new invaders. The Hungarians poured down in a torrent from the north. The Saracens, who had conquered Sicily in the second quarter of the century, pressed upwards from the south, while other swarms of the same race settled on the shores of the Mediterranean between Genoa and Nice. These horrors had one good result. The towns fortified themselves in self-defence, and with the help of their local trained bands laid the germs of future liberty. In 960 the Saxon Otto assumed the imperial crown of Charles the Great. It is no part of the object of this book to describe in detail the early history of medieval Italy. The period with which we are concerned begins in 1250, after the death of the Emperor Frederick II, the last great monarch who founded a kingdom of Italy which was able to hold its own against the power of the popes. At the same time, it is necessary to trace in
Sample complete. Ready to continue?